Hello, I am Jody Wolf. You're watching EXPOZ today, August 23, 2011, and 6:46 p.m. And I'll pick up After America, There Is No Place to Go. This is part 2. This is our woman in Austria that wrote this letter. And we'll pick up Equal Rights Hits Home. In 1939, the war started and a food bank was established. All food was rationed and could only be purchased using food stamps. Now, please listen to the next few sentences. It's going to be where we're headed. At that time, or at the same time, a full unemployment law was passed, which meant if you didn't work, you didn't get a ration card. And if you didn't have a job, you starved to death. Women who stayed home to raise their families didn't have any marketable skills and often had to take jobs more suited for men. Soon after this, the draft was implemented. It was compulsory for young people, male and female, to give 1 year to the labor corps. During the day, the girls worked on farms, and at night they returned to the barracks for military training, just like the guys. They were trained to be anti-aircraft gunners and participated in the Signal Corps. After the Labor Corps, they were not discharged but were used in the front lines. When I got back to Austria to visit my family and friends, most of these women are emotional cripples because they were not equipped to handle the horrors of combat. 3 months later, before I turned 18, I was severely injured in an air raid attack. I almost had to have a leg amputated, but I was spared, having to go into the labor corps into military service. Hitler restructured the family through daycare. When the mothers had to go out into the workforce, the government immediately established child care centers. This is how a child can be brainwashed. Specifically, you can take your child ages 4 weeks to school age and leave them there around the clock 7 days a week under the total care of the government. The state raised a whole generation of children. There were no motherly women to take care of the children, just people highly trained in child psychology. By this time, no one talked about equal rights. We knew we had been had. Health care and small businesses suffered under government controls. Before Hitler, we had very good medical care. Many American doctors trained at the University of Vienna. After Hitler, healthcare was socialized, free for everyone. Doctor salaries by the government, The problem was, since it was free, the people were going to the doctors for everything. When the good doctor arrived at his office at 8, 40 people were already waiting, and at the same time, the hospitals were full. If you needed elective surgery, you had to wait a year or two for your turn. There was no money for research as it was poured into socialized medicines. Research at the medical schools literally stopped, so the best doctors left Austria and immigrated to other countries. As for healthcare, our tax rates went up to 80% of our income. Newlyweds immediately received a $1,000 loan from the government to establish a household. We had big programs for families. All daycare and education was free. High schools were taken over by the government and college tuition was subsidized. Everyone was entitled to free handouts such as food stamps, clothing, and housing. We had another agency designed to monitor business. My brother-in-law owned a restaurant that had square tables. Government officials told him he had to replace them with round tables because people might bump themselves on the corners. Hey, that makes sense. When they had, then they had to have additional bathroom facilities. It was a small dairy business with a snack bar. He couldn't meet the demands. Soon he went out of business. If the government owned the large businesses and not many small ones existed, it could be controlled. We had consumer protection. We were told how to shop and what to buy. Free enterprise were essentially abolished. We had a planning agency specifically designed for farmers. The agents would go to the farms, count the livestock, then tell the farmers what to produce and how to produce it. Wow, this is getting into more and more stuff. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one right now, and there'll be another part. But the next part is I'm going to start off with mercy killings redefined. Jody Wolf, EXPOZ.